Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a joy, pleasure, and privilege for me to be here and to be able to share some thoughts about leading. About leading in crisis. As I thought about this, and I was preparing, remembered that once upon a time I was an entrepreneur, and a good one at that. And while I did distribution, basically I did so well that the people that I distributed the goods for began to ask themselves, what does she do so well that we cannot do? I can tell you 7-figure digits, big money was my portion. And they came together, had a board meeting, and decided they were going to employ all my staff, and I was going to close the doors. I was not prepared for something of that magnitude. And a bit of rumor started happening. And one of my mentors told me that I have heard, and I said, nothing such as that. We are talking about reputable organizations. We are talking about good business. We are talking about being grounded over the night. And I mean over the night. I had resignations, and the entire staff were employed by that organization. And the big question is, it's not only COVID that really brings about situations of a crisis. I hadn't thought about it, but look at me today. I reinvented myself. I was so angry as a result of the loss of business, and I asked myself, what is it do I need to do? I actually decided, let me leave entrepreneurship to my husband, and I went back to school and studied all over because I felt that I didn't want to be in that zone. Well, it gave me healing, but it opened a new opportunity for me. I studied psychology. I began by being a marriage coach. Barina would know very well because he's my publisher, and we began by writing a book, Marriage Built to Last, and then we did Healing Built Beyond Betrayal, and I can tell you a lot, but that's for another day. Now, today, I serve over 200 corporates in terms of mental and emotional resilience. And let me tell you the magic. While I was struggling to find business, when COVID hit, they looked for me. I don't look for the business, it finds me in my house. Am I talking to somebody? And so, while we look at crisis as a situation where we are lost, I want us to think today about what is the opportunity that is presented by the crisis. I watched on TV the other day of a young man who was in these 4 walls. And he was so done being in the 4 walls of his house because we were working from home with your children and your wife. And he decided to create aquarium. I don't know whether you saw that. It was on primetime news. And he created an aquarium with golden fish, different colors. He looked at it and thought, I like it. And he thought maybe somebody would want to buy this. And he put it on social media. He said there that he cannot fulfill the demand for what he is doing. He's employed people across the counties to be able to make these aquariums, and he is enjoying all the way to the bank. And so bear with me as I begin my presentation. And so, building resilience and agility. Thank you for having me. For the speakers that have been before me, you had an insight to some of my presentations, so I will not deliver too much on it. You have already learned. I just want to put the icing on the cake, even as we do this. Now, we're having a conversation on building resilience and agility to lead in crisis. I'm a leader. I never thought I was a leader until I was in the deep end and I recognized everybody is a leader. Each one of you that is here is a leader. Whether you are a leader at the marketplace, you are a leader at home, you that is online, whatever you do, you are a leader, and what you do, you provide impact and influence, maybe without even your knowledge or understanding. So how can you lead effectively in a changing VUCA world? I want to let you know that you must be very resilient and agile. And as you are resilient, it reminds me of the palm trees. I was in the coast last week. And it always feels nice to walk by the beach. And let me tell you, the wind was coming on hard. And I thought, whoops, I need to get out of here. At least I get a cold. Nobody wants a cold in this season. Now, when you look at a palm tree, it has very deep roots. You will not get to see the roots. But when the storm comes, the tree will be bent all the way to the ground, but it will rise up again, and actually you will never know that it had been down to the ground because of the deep roots that it has. I suggest to each one of you that you need to have deep roots and really be deep-rooted in whatever it is that you do and the situations that you are in when it comes to leadership. All right. Did you know 60% of C-level executives cited that today's leaders should have crisis preparedness? We've heard about that, to ensure an organization's survival of any eventuality, according to Deloitte. All right, and Morris would say that according to a survey, every leader should possess, soft skills. And what we do know today really is while you do have a high IQ and a lot of knowledge, if you lack soft skills, the market is not the place for you. Building resilience, we are in a situation that is being referred to globally as a VUCA world. It's all about volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. I urge you not only to look at the volatile situation, but to look at the vision. Where are we going? Uncertainty, you need to be able to find understanding. At the end of the day, uncertainty will be a part of the portion. I'm not sure where this crisis is going to take us. I'm not sure where my next job is coming from. I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, the one thing you will know, I am not staying in an uncertainty position. I need to find a level of understanding. Now, when this situation, COVID and beyond, is complex, and I tell you it is complex, and one of the things that was cited by the World Health Organization was that if you think COVID is anything, you wait and see what domestic violence is going to look like. And believe me, it's been another pandemic. People are struggling big time because homes have become unbearable. And so, as a result of the complexity of this matter, it is up to you to take 100% responsibility and seek clarity concerning these matters. As a leader, you need to have a lot of agility. It's not just about ambiguity as the world presents you. It is about agility. Are you an agile leader? Now, in a VUCA world, we need to lead in crisis, and success is our portion. All right? We do know that, don't we? We know that God has a good plan for each one of you, plans to prosper you, plans to give you a future and a hope. Now, we need to understand that things are changing very fast. Artificial intelligence, things that were done by human beings are now not going to be done by human beings. So the workforce is going to continue to reduce, and maybe your job is threatened. During this season, we had over 70% of people in organizations, major organizations, lose their jobs. I thank God for an organization that I serve. Not a single person lost their job. However, the company made quite huge losses. Question is it sustainable? While we care for the people, what happens next? My son is hospitality. He does hospitality, and he had employed over 150 employees in terms of his business. Now, when it hit, he said, as we are biblical entrepreneurs, we are going to stick with our people. We will support them. By the time he hit the ground, several months later, paying salaries, trusting God, it was a mess. He had to shut down. He's just reopened and is actually doing well. God has heard his prayers. Global markets will change, and they will continue to change. We have a multi-generational workforce, and yet you don't know how to work with the millennials, with the Y and Z generation. This is the season. You are saying, okay, they are not reliable, they don't show up, oh, I can't stand them. These baby boomers, they are so fixed on whatever, they have no technology skills. Let me tell you, you don't have technology skills, prepare yourself for fatal death. Am I talking to somebody? Regulations are changing. Virtual workplaces. I used to travel far and wide. Even to come here, I had to be reminded. It is actually, you are coming. Because for me, I have the space. I just go online and I connect with the world. I'm in Australia in the morning. I'm in America in the midday. I'm in the UK. I have such a platform. It is shocking. Ask me whether COVID worked for me. I will tell you it worked so well. Where has the crisis been? Are we good? Ask me whether I struggled with it. Yes, I lost loved ones. And it was hard. I have never stayed home as long as I have. Until home, I became a homebody. I don't even want to go anywhere. I'm so comfortable in my space. Now that brings a potential danger. The potential danger is the lack of social engagement. And then you start losing it. Are you losing it? You better not lose it. And so, what are some of the disruptions that we have seen that have affected us? COVID-19, we can give stories and stories about that. I attended online virtual funerals, Bishop. I attended virtual funerals. Do you know what that is? You lose your loved one. They're out of the country. You cannot travel. You lose your loved ones here. I'm of the age bracket that was told, don't even think about it. Stay home. Don't go to church. I got used to virtual church. I love it. I just love virtual church. And I can attend 3 services. All right? Anywhere I want to go, Sunday, I'm in for a treat. So social, economic, and environmental factors. We had increased workloads. People are fired, so you have to do the job of 3 people. All right? Mental health challenges, stress, anxiety, depression, mental health issues, or domestic violence, as I've said. Alcohol intake increased by 25% during the lockdown. Believe it or not, bars are closed. All right? That is what the studies and surveys indicated. People were drinking themselves silly to be able to cope with this. And now the effects of it showed up in the domestic violence. Navigating change is never easy. It's not a walk in the park. When you need to navigate any form of change, it threatens you because we are used to status quo. We love our comfort zone. Now, leadership agility is the ability to anticipate change, be proactive to business decisions and personal decisions, having a deep understanding of markets, of customers, also of your needs, of your wants, of your family's needs, of your family's want, of your community's needs, and so on. You cannot be ignorant of this. And so as we think about change, all right, I've got these 5 A's that I want you to remember. You've got to accept change is here. I've lost my job. I am sick. My family is going through a financial crisis. I am struggling with my relationships. You've got to accept, let go of how good it looked like. This is how it always used to be. This is how we did things. No, you've got to accept we are in a new season, okay? Acknowledge. Look at the silver lining. I have to remind myself each time. In every situation, there is a silver lining. And I have to keep asking myself, what is the silver lining concerning this matter? Unless you see the silver lining, you lose out on the opportunity. And beloved, preparedness begets opportunity. What are you prepared for, even when that opportunity presents itself? You've got to adjust, develop plans to respond faster. Avoid a vacuum and lead with agility. Okay? Don't just sit there, advance. You have to keep moving. Trust your instinct. Keep moving. You can't just sit back and say, no, we've always done it this way. So what do you remember? Accept, acknowledge, adjust, avoid, advance. Advancing is the most important thing. And as you advance, who do you choose to work with? You need an accountability partner. You need a positioner. You need a grounding friend. You need a prayer friend. You need a team. You need cheerleaders even along the journey. All right, so we are being open-minded to leading in crisis. Open-minded to change. Who said change is a bad thing? Change is such a good thing. And you know what? It's so shocking because even when you turn another big O, all right? You're 20 years. I'm so old now. You are 30. Oh my God, I'm 30. What am I going to do? You are 40. Oh my goodness. I know life begins at 40, but there is a scare about living your 30s, all right? And then you get to your 50s. I thought it was over with me. Oh my God, I am 50, half a century. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? I have to remind myself I'm blessed. I'm in good health. It's a good place to be. I'm in my fiery 50s. Wait until the 60s came. Oh my goodness. Am I going to be as hot and good for my husband? Will I be in the workforce? At 60, they send you home? What's going to happen? Thank God by that time, I was no longer in management level, but board level, where the older you are, the better, because of your vast experience, your networks. And so, ask me, I'll tell you, aging is beautiful. It depends on your mind and how you choose to go about it. All right, so create learning opportunities and stimulate followers to solve problems, facilitate redefinition of mission and vision, relationships of mutual stimulation and elevation, and be emotionally intelligent. I was only setting the foundation, and now we are getting into the message. Are you ready? Wonderful. Now, we're going to learn about 5 steps to building resilience and agility to lead in a crisis. Very simple. Number 1, define your ikigai. The Japanese call it ikigai, your purpose for being. What's your purpose? Why are you here? What do you want? Who are you? You got to find you. define your ikigai, your purpose for being. Number 2, demand emotional and mental resilience, because you're not going anywhere without emotional and mental resilience. Number 3, determine your balance. Very important. Number 4, build relationships. And number 5, embrace excellence, no matter what. Embrace excellence. And so, define your ikigai. What's your passion? What's your purpose? What satisfies you? What do you feel good about? Okay? What's your calling? So, what do you do that is so good that people keep affirming you about? Dr. Oginde alluded to this, the importance of vision. From volatility to vision. It's not just about focusing on what's going wrong. And the default mind, the mind has a default mode to pick negative messages. So it will be telling you about what's wrong, how you will fail. It will also be telling you how useless and good for nothing you are. It will be telling you how worthless you are, and the only way to cope is to be able to go against the grain. And so the question is, redefine your vision and purpose. If you have not reinvented yourself every 5 years, that's what I have come to learn. It's about continuous learning, continuous reinvention. If you're so happy and satisfied with your status quo, let me tell you, you're waiting for a fatal death. You will be forgotten, ignored, irrelevant, because you have lost the plot. Question is, what is it that you want? Number 2, demand emotional and mental resilience. Now, according to the World Health Organization, 1 in every 4 people in Kenya today are struggling with mental health. Anxiety, depression, stress, drug and substance abuse, bipolar, personality disorders. Keep hearing my boss is a gaslighter. My wife is a narcissist. People are struggling with these things. And so, according to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of infirmity. So what you need to understand is that mental, physical, and social is critical. Those are aspects that you really need to take care of, because how can you manage a crisis when you are emotionally unstable? How can you manage a crisis when you are mentally unstable? And so it's all about checking in with yourself. Am I sleeping well? Do I have insomnia? Am I overreacting to situations? Do I have a grandiosity? Do I feel extremely important and I'm lording over everybody around you? Do I keep my friends or don't I? Normal, abnormal is really a thin line between normal. And who defines what normal is? I guess it begins by you defining it for yourself. At the end of the day, awareness is the heartbeat of therapy. Are you aware about how you show up? Are you aware about your negativity? Did you know that you have 2 kinds of energy? Anabolic energy, which is positive energy, fueling energy, motivating energy. I see George having that kind of energy. And so leading a team with that kind of energy is very good. You need to ask yourself, what climate, what essence am I radiating as I deal with my team? Or are you the one that has catabolic energy? Just as it sounds, it's carnivorous in nature. biting onto you and eating away your cells and causing you a lot of unnecessary situations. And at the end of the day, catabolic energy causes you high blood pressure, diabetes, stress, anxiety, depression, downhill all the way. Allow me to suggest to you that your attitude determines your altitude. You will go as far as your mind can go. As a man thinketh, I didn't hear you. As a man thinketh, what are the thoughts that you have for yourself? We are so focused about other people's affirmations, what they tell you about yourself. What do you tell you about yourself? Please take just half a minute and tell your neighbor or tell yourself, write it down. What 3 affirmations are you giving yourself? Right now, 3 affirmations are you giving yourself? You can tell your neighbor and have a conversation. If you can do that, it's good. I'm great. I'm beautiful. I'm intelligent. I'm focused. Tell them. All right? Very good. And so, as you have your tea break, as you go home, think about it. I want you to write down 10 affirmations about yourself. Why wait to be told by others? And when it doesn't come, then you become dysfunctional. Consider, do you have a fixed mindset or do you have a growth mindset? When you have a fixed mindset, failure is the limit of my abilities. Period. When you have a growth mindset, failure is an opportunity to grow. And so remember, it has to be intentional. You wear it on. You choose it. You determine it. You ensure that for me and my household, we are going to be adapting a growth mindset regardless of the crises and the challenges that come our way. It's not about what happens to you. It's how you choose to view that which happens to you. At the end of the day, God didn't say, I'll give you a life of bliss and no problem. I will be with you every step of the way. I will support you in every step of the way. Now, in terms of going through the journey of the challenges, you need to recognize emotional intelligence. IQ is great. You will go far. But if you have EQ, or IQ as they call it, sometimes you will ensure that, bottom line, you manage everything. According to Goldman, who has done a lot of research and studies about emotional intelligence, the capacity for recognizing your own feelings and those of others, for motivating ourselves and managing emotions well in ourselves and in our relationships is the best gift that you can give to yourself. And really, when you welcome emotional intelligence, it's about becoming excellent where social skills are concerned. It's about self-regulation. It doesn't matter what's going on around. How do you regulate yourself? And how do you pose? How do you reflect? How do you respond? All right? How do you motivate yourself? How do you apply your empathy? Are you self-aware? Do you know who you are? Do you know what makes you tick? Do you know what your triggers are? What causes you to have an amygdala hijack? Simply, you are so angry, before you know it, you've lost it. I mean, really, we are Christians, so we say, we don't lose it. I lose it. I have to be very, very aware because things are going so fast, and the minute I'm aware of an increased heart rate, ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. And then I feel some water in my belly, and I experience a little perspiring on my face, I know I'm in a danger zone. Now, that's how the body reacts to a threat. When the threat is coming, you do 3 things. You fight, you take flight, or you freeze. If you don't do any of the 3 things, then you're not human. Now, what you need to recognize is what are your triggers and how to manage. Let me give you a good tip. If you ever feel that you're getting an amygdala hijack, it's a whole lot of cortisol that comes into your blood vessels, and it fills the amygdala that is under the cortex of your brain, and so you don't reason anymore. It bypasses your reasoning skills. So what basically happens? You take a flight with that situation. Now, the next time you start feeling the signs as I have shared them, count 5. Count with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. By the time you count from 5 to 1, they say it takes 6 seconds. 6 seconds, the researchers that have really studied this overreaction. And in 6 seconds, you will do the right thing or the wrong thing. So if you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's going to be really helpful. The next thing you need to do is take 3 deep breathing exercises. You count up to 5 2 times, and the last one, you count up to 10. Try it when you leave here, all right? Now, you've got to detect your emotions. Emotions are data. They give you insight as to how it is that you are feeling. So don't ignore them. They are important. Before I was able to manage my emotions better, I had a lot of mirror conversations. And I found a lot of healing in that. I'm in my bathroom. I'm in my bedroom. If you would have found me there, you wonder, is Jenny okay? I'm having a me time and a conversation with the mirror. I am reasoning with myself. When's the last time you reasoned with yourself? Understanding what are some of those emotions that cause you to fail whatever you want. Number 3, determine your balance. We are all struggling. People say, I have challenges, work, life, love, balance. How do you do that? You've got to be able to know that it's no longer the season of balancing. It is the season of life integration. You cannot say, I have a small baby and you know it's time for work, so here I am. No. You cannot say that I'm beginning my marriage and there you are dumping your husband or your wife because you have the call of duty. Even soldiers were not sent to war for 1 year. You stay home and take care of your wife. There is a time and a season for everything. And so if you don't recognize that, then you fail because you are looking for a fleeting balance. I can tell you it's a fallacy. You will never find a balance. However, you will be able to integrate your work, your love, and your... Very good. Now, building resilience and agility to lead in a crisis is about employees identify work as a number 1 stressor in their lives. Now, if indeed employees identify work as the number 1 stressor in their lives, we are living in a world where it's all about output. It's all about targets. You cannot be rewarded for nothing. It's not when we clocked in and clocked out, or you leave your coat hanging there. You have got some serious targets to meet. Short of that, you ain't gonna get your bonus, and you could also be fired. Now, that is causing people a lot of stress. If you are not one that believes in working, you just want money, the season is over. It doesn't matter whether you come to work or you don't come to work, the season is over. It's a question of what are you delivering? What is the bottom line at the end of the day? Number 4, it's all about building relationships. Modern leaders use mentoring, connection, and employees recognized to inspire 86% more greater work. Meaning, if you use mentoring, coaching, connection, the productivity increases up to 86% of greater work, studies indicate. Aha, what does that mean? It's no longer that hierarchical system of operating. This is the chairman, this is the MD, this is the directors. No, we work as a team. We work as a team. Everybody needs to feel valued for what they bring on the table. If you try that hierarchical kind of leadership, you have lost it, if you have a multi-generational workforce, all right? Now, social skills, empathy. As a leader, if there is only one skill you should desire, it is empathy. Empathy is not about sympathizing. It is about understanding what it means to be in a certain situation, okay? The ability to sense other people's emotions. But before you sense other people's emotions, you sense your own emotions, all right? Are we learning something? Very good. And so, number 5, this is the final one. Embrace excellence to lead in a crisis. And to do that, you've got to remember, from ambiguity to agility. Ambiguity is not my portion. Okay? The core competences for agility is tolerance of ambiguity. If you tolerate ambiguity, you will be lost totally. You've got to say, I need a level of clarity, whatever it is that I want to do. I know what I want. I know where I want to go, with who, and so on. Okay? Embrace your mistakes, understand. We learn from the past, all right? And in the present, we plan for the future, okay? Listening beyond your ego. Ego is big, and it's what causes us. We have seen organizations, their ego. Look at Kodak. They were my husband, I met him when he was a photographer. He just took pictures in a church like this one. He took a picture of me and he said, this is my goal. And from there, we began a journey. 45 years later, here we are. Now, what reminds me about Kodak is him, because those are the products that he had every day. Kodak, 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 Kodak. Now, when the time came and they had studios around the country, the father had so many photo studios. In every county, he had a photo studio. And they were doing very well. By the time I was getting married, our pictures were in the studio. You know, no pictures were good if they were not studio. Now, they never innovated. Today, there exists not a single studio, and COVID died with them. I mean, not COVID, Kodak. One of my first phones was Nokia. Where is Nokia today? Wait until I upgraded to which one? Was I hot or what? Having a BlackBerry. Today it's worth nothing. I think it's completely out of the market. What am I saying? You may be having it all, but you really have to be agile. You need to be sensitive to the times, and you need to recognize that we are evolving on a daily basis, okay? Making a decision without hierarchy. That's why I'm talking about teams. Even at home, it's not about who is the head of the house. It's about together we win, because we are better together. We are aligned together. As we share together, give each other the respect that we deserve, we will achieve bigger, greater goals than you think or even imagine. You need to embrace self-care. You cannot forget about yourself in all this journey. Celebrate your successes. When is the last time you reflected and thought, what have I done? During the COVID, I decided I am actually going to go back to school, and I'm going to learn. And so by the time that people were discovering what to do, I had studied so much in different areas of my interests. Strengthen cultural resilience. Today, we are in a global village. So you have to diversify in terms of your networks, in terms of your partners, in terms of your peers. You've got to stretch yourself. Build support networks. All right? Reflection and meditation and prayer counts. Keep a list of gratitude, as we said earlier. Structure your time. Time is the only commodity. When it is lost, you can't get it back. And so do yourself a favor and do that. Now, we were talking about 5 steps of building resilience. Define your ikigai, your purpose for being. Demand emotional and mental resilience. Determine your balance. Build relationships. Embrace excellence. And so with that, I just remind you that agility and resilience is a personal choice. Nobody will make you wear it. Nobody will make you own it. It is a question of owning it 100% and deciding it's not status quo as usual. How comfortable are you in your comfort zone? Maybe you need a bit of a disruption. Every disruption that has come into my life has given me an opportunity for bigger, better, and greater things. Looking back, one wonders, how did you get there, Jenny? It comes with a pinch of pain. And that pain begins to become your motivating factor. You can't do it on your own. You need mentors. You need coaches. You need peers. You need positioners. People that put you in places of authority. All right? Without those people that I have climbed on their shoulders, I wouldn't be here. It takes people who believe in you. I began my journey with a very great pastor that saw a gift in me. And when they saw a gift in me, they spurred me and encouraged me to go for my gifting. It took to meet a man called Barine to be able to say, I like your writing. And today my family, they are all writing books. You will find. You want Money-Wise, How to Create, Grow, and Preserve Wealth? Rena Hicks, you will find her on. You want Finishing Rich? Bob Karina, you'll find him there. What? And so many books on my laptop, and they will be there. Because when I don't speak, Barine asks me, okay, Dr. Barine, Dr. Barine, I honor you for the journey that we have traveled. And I cannot forget that when I published my first book, 200 copies, I put them in the basement, and I asked myself, what have I done? And my first book was on marriage built to last. So that means I was exposing myself. You would know the conversations between me and my husband. You would know the fights. You would know everything. I said, no. I'm ready to lose this money. I don't think I'm ready for this. And Barine said to me, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what the Lord is about to do in your life. And so the devil is pressing you down so that you can throw it all away. Arise and do what God has called you to do. Let me tell you, are you putting your light under the table? Because of a crisis that you encountered, and you are just enduring it in this crisis, and actually pretending that COVID is the problem, but you know very well it's not COVID. It is something in your life that needs to be dealt with. Arise, put your lamp on the table, be who God called you to be. And with that, that is the end of my presentation. I welcome any questions. Thank you.